Well, hello everyone. I'm Nick Francis from Impact Office Supplies, a Queensland owned and operated office supplies business which specialises in supporting schools both in the EQ and private sector. Now, in November 2022, Impact Office Supplies was appointed as a member of the panel of suppliers for the Education Queensland SOA for classroom resources. Now, this includes the supply and delivery of hard copy text and ebooks. So today, we're going to be taking you through our ebook manager, EBM, a platform we've developed specifically for secondary schools. So we've spoken to schools, and this is how EBM has been designed around the feedback that we've received. EBM is designed primarily simply as a provisioning and student management tool aimed at education admin, teaching staff within schools that carry an ebook component for their senior learning years. So in short, EBM will systemize the provisioning process for you when raising ebook orders or hard copy orders with publishers, whilst tracking each student's data real time, allowing an at-a-glance understanding of which classes students are assigned to, which resources they've received, and which movements they've had throughout those classes and ebook provisioning history. So what about students' classroom experience? Well, that's all via the publisher's app, where students receive the login back from the publishers and log in that way. Students never log into EBM. It is not a classroom learning tool. We let the publishers, who continue to invest heavily in their own product offerings via their apps, do what they do best, and that's classroom learning. So without further ado, let's take more of a deep dive into EBM. So the first thing to point out is that EBM empowers schools. We're giving the process back to schools rather than to a third party. So EBM allows teachers or HODs the ability to place orders for multiple publishers on one single order and send it through. It's literally in an add to cart basis. So essentially we hand back the power to schools and the ability to allow schools to place orders for multiple publishers at one single time in a simple, automated process. Once you've entered the site, you'll see import timetable area up here. It's very, very simple. This is the import CSV from one school. So this is relevant for all EQ schools. And all you do is you choose the file here for the student, the timetable, and the class CSVs, and you upload those all at the same time. Now, this normally takes anything between 3 to 5 minutes, and once done, it actually creates these tiles for you. So you're essentially getting an overview of the school, a snapshot of that school as those 3 CSV upload files sync. So we've got a school here. This is just a dummy site that we use. And we've got the years 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So if we click through onto the year 7, what that shows us here is again the year 7 list. So we've got the class codes and we've also got the class names and then the number of students there in that class. Now, one of the features that EBM has for you is the ability for the school to set administrator rights. So there'll obviously be an administrator overall that has access all areas. You could have a view only section, so maybe some teachers can go in and view. You've got an option to create orders as a admin right for that, so a teacher or HOD could go in and create an order. You've then got a hierarchy that we could add, so you could have a scenario where a teacher places an order but it then automatically defaults to maybe a HOD or a business manager or a librarian or whoever that then confirms that order and sends that order through. So there's a lot of different options that you've got within the school if you want to have different administrator rights for different people therein. Okay, so there's 3 options for uploading orders that the school has within EBM. The first is you can upload via year level. So that's ideal if you've got a bundle for the whole of year. So you want every student in the year to receive the same resource. That's going to save a lot of time when it comes to actually placing orders. You just up to whole of year and off you go. The second is via subjects. So it might be that, for instance, in this aquatics excellence subjects here, although we've got 2 classes, this enables us to give a piece of resource to every student across the 2 classes in one hit. And the third way is simply to add in resource via class only, and it's only then received by the students in that particular class. So all you do, you simply click on the down arrow there. Now there's a couple of features here. First is the view all students. We know that there's 19 students in that class, and here we see those students there for you. The next function next to it was the add product. So we'll hit on add product. Now there's, as it says here, over 15,000 products that you could search for in here. All the main publishers are covered. Now let's just, for the sake of time, I'm just going to type in. The first thing when we pull up just English here is we see that some stock codes have got an E and some don't. So what does that mean? Well, the E means it's an e-book, it's a digital product. Without the E means it's a hard copy book. And that's just an easy way of teachers understanding what they're ordering. We've all made that mistake in the past where you're wondering, is this a digital or is this an ebook? Sometimes the descriptions aren't great. This is just our way of showing you straight away. Now let's say, for instance, that we wanted to purchase that book there. All we do is we hit that button down there, which takes us through, and then you can see this is set up as 1. Now we know there's 19 students, so you wouldn't put 19 in there, you just simply put 1 in there. That's going to pick up all of those 19 students. And you can see there the particular product and whatever it is that you might want to add to that. If you want to add some extra products, you just go back in there and add some extra products as well. Let's just go biology, just for the heck of it. Okay, let's just put that in there as well. And we just start building our list that way. Once we finish creating our list, we just hit save. And then wait for 60 seconds and the order is created for you. Okay, so after about 45 seconds to a minute, you'll see that the yellow header has appeared here with the new order lines and also a create order button. You simply click on that and this will take you through to your order screen. So it's just a question of just filling out the last items here, maybe putting a PO if you know it, and placing your order. Got an opportunity here to check this out as a quote as well, so the quote will default to the administrator or the hierarchy person if there is one on the site for them to approve, but alternatively just hit order. Now this is the point where teachers can place orders. It's generally class-based, however you can place for whole of year if you require a bundle deal. And this is based on information that's already been synced into EBM. Once you've checked out, an automated process commences, which sends the provisioning information direct to the publisher in the format they require. So no need for cumbersome process of filling out provisioning sheets in the various formats. It's all done for you. Then, whenever the school re-uploads the files for syncing, EBM is able to interrogate that data and looks for changes. Whether these be new students or class movements, EBM action these changes to provision content in an ongoing basis throughout the term. It's literally a set and forget. This includes any reactivations or student license deactivations which are applicable with some publishers. This allows for a seamless transition of content. So as I mentioned earlier, EBM has been developed with the direct input from schools. And one of the best features we feel about the system is the EBM Student Manager. So let's take a look. Okay, so EBM has been developed with the direct input of schools, and one of the main features that schools said they needed was a student manager system. So the platform has EBM Student Manager for you. Student Manager tracks all students in classes to allow for real-time at-a-glance information for each class and each student. So what it allows you to do here is you've got the EQ ID, first name, last name, email, year level, classes, The orders have had provision against the last input date, and the creation date. Creation date's pretty neat because it allows you to see the students that have come in later to the school. So you'll see that all of the students are color coded. So the active students, they're the good ones, they're in green. That means that they've synced for the student timetable, student list and student class list. However, the shaded ones are active students, but they not necessarily have a class assigned to them. So that might be something that the school wants to look into. Maybe they're a new student, or maybe they've just slipped through the cracks. While the red ones are students that have been deleted, so maybe they've left the school altogether. So if we go to the side of the bar here and just view a particular student, so we've got some basic information at the top. We've just got name, email, the EQID, year level, number of classes rolled, that creation date that I mentioned, and all of the active classes that the student currently has that are automatically associated with the importing of that CSV data via one school in this instance. So what happens in the event of a student moving between classes? So hit the Actions tab. You'll see a removal timeline down here. So if you simply click on that, this is the section that identifies ebooks that have been ordered for a student and they're no longer required. Now there's usually two reasons for this. The main one being that the student is no longer in that class, they've been removed. Obviously that is the most common. You might also have those where a class has been removed, so you've decided maybe you're not pursuing that class in the second semester, so you'll have that data contained down here as well. But essentially, let's say you've got a student, Fred Smith, he wants to go from chemistry to physics. You'll have the information for Fred in here, and then you'll have a reason for removal. You'll have the product code and the product name and the quantity, the class code, all that information there. So the deactivated license will be in red, and then if Fred's gone into the new class, say physics, the reactivation for that physics content will be in green. So you'll be able to see at a glance how licenses have been moved around within the school as students move. Another feature for the school to take advantage from is the order history. So you can see here again at a glance all of the orders that you've had sent through. Now you can, if you've done a quote, they'll appear again, it's color coded in blue there for you. Orders that require payment, that'll be in red, so we don't want too many of those. Orders not received, they will be in a light. That means basically they've only just come through. It takes a few minutes for that update to happen, but mainly they're all going to be that dark green shading, which means the order has come through and it's been provisioned for you. Okay, so if all this sounds good so far, what do we do next? You're probably wondering how much this costs. Well, we all know that time means money and misprovisioning can be costly. So what if I told you there were no costs involved at all, other than the general purchase of the license and the content from the publishers? So that's one transaction, one supplier's invoice, and this provides total peace of mind and greater efficiency for the finance department. So how do we get started? Simply speak to your Impact Office Supplies account manager, or you can contact me directly on nick@ios.net.au. We can arrange a time to come in and have a consultation. So, now we've had a chance to have a look at the EBM platform, let's recap on those main points that I think are going to be important for you. Number one, all data is stored within Australia. Now, this is a prerequisite of all EQ schools and gives complete peace of mind to the school that the data is going to be protected. Number two, this is a provisioning and student management tool. It's not a classroom tool in the sense that all students will go directly to the publisher's app for their classroom experience. This is to take the pain away from the schools in the provisioning and student management. Number three, it's a very, very simple and easy upload to sync. You just upload the CSV of the timetable, the student list and the class list, and EBM does the rest for you. Number four, each subsequent upload from then automatically creates the orders. It's a completely automated system. So it's a set and forget from the school's point of view, again, taking the work away from it. And the final point, possibly the most important, it's free of charge. There's no cost whatsoever. So you can reallocate those funds to other areas you might spend within the school. Thanks for listening. Now, if you want to get started, the easiest thing to do, contact me, Nick Francis, on nick@ios.net.au, or your Impact Account Manager. Thanks for listening.